Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Highly Talkative, where we get high in conversation and discuss many topics from personal to community to anything that's going on in the world. So sit back, get cozy, and let me talk to you. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. So today I have Clint and Tootie here. They are my son's best friend's parents. I say best friend, but I use that really loosely because he calls them the bros every time I say best friend. And we're just going to talk a few things. I want to talk a few things, but Clint says that that's too much. So we'll see. We'll see how this flows. Okay, so we're going to touch bases on like your relationship because I really admire you guys. Y'all are like yin and yang kind of, but I love the dynamic that you guys have here. So how did y'all meet? Y'all, the both of you.
Well,
I'm gonna preface this. She's gonna probably tell a fib, and then I'm gonna have to clean it up.
Tell the whole truth.
I'm gonna let her talk first, and then I'm gonna clean it up because it's gonna be bogus.
I'm gonna tell the whole truth, and then
here we go.
tell you a bogus story.
No.
He's from New York, so they like to fabricate stories.
I'm a
All right, son. Beat.
I'm a child of God. I'm gonna give you the gospel. But go ahead. I'm gonna let her go first.
So we had met in Korea. Both of us are prior military, and he was in Korea first. And I got stationed out there, and I went out there. And then, we basically met out there in Korea. It was one hot, sunny day. Girl, I had just got there, just holding all my bags and stuff. And that we was out in formation, and there was a whole crowd. Like, you know how they meet, they want everybody to meet. To meet the new people, right? So
I don't really know, guys. I've never been in the Army.
Oh, well, there's a whole crowd. Well, it's just like with, like on a football team, like, hey, this is a new player.
Okay.
Everybody meet so-and-so. Well, anyways, this is Sergeant so-and-so. I want everybody to meet him, make her feel welcome. And he just busted through the crowd.
Here we go.
He's seen this cute
Take
little
the shenanigans.
girl. This cute girl with this pretty smile.
I believe it.
Yes, no, for real. And he was like, hey, how you doing? I'm Sergeant First Class Phillip. Nice to meet you. And he just had a big old bright smile. And girl, I was so over it by the end of the day already because it was hot. I was sweating. I didn't want to meet nobody. I just wanted to go to my room and then just unpack and relax. But but he busted through that crowd and I was like, oh, he kind of cute.
Period.
But let me get to my room. And that's how we met. We was out there in Korea. We were turning up. This was before Christ now. We was turning up every single day, hanging out every single day. He made my time in Korea like so much better than it would have if I never would have met him.
If you don't mind me asking, what year was this? I don't want to tell your age or anything.
This was back in 2000. I got there in 2014.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ironically, my parents met in Korea too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I guess that's like the meeting place for the Army.
Yeah, it really is. But normally it's relationships that don't last. You go over there and then and then you keep it moving. But her story is about 35% right.
Oh my God, 35% is not a lot.
Okay. So she didn't tell you the whole backstory. All right, so we did meet in Korea. Both of us was in the military. She was a leader. She was a sergeant, but I was a senior leader, right? So I was her supervisor. And before she even came to the unit, I knew that she was inbound, but I didn't know her specifically. I had three of her MO1 types coming, right? So for me, I thought it was three females that showed up. I didn't even want any females because it's just drama, right? So I had a lot of female soldiers. I didn't want females, but only three of them came and we needed to fill a slot. So the person that they told me I was getting, I was like, you could just tell this is trouble. She just didn't look like the part, right? So then there was like, well, there's two other ones, but one of them already got pulled. So I didn't even know. I thought both of them got pulled. So I didn't even know that we were getting Tootie. So and then they finally said, well, hey, they didn't send her down to where they was going to send her. She's going to come to you. Okay, boom, boom, boom. I go over to meet her.
Broke through the crowd.
I believe
at
it.
the end of the
Y'all
day,
watch out.
so this is a Friday. At the end of the day on Fridays, we have a formation, right? And typically, like this is where the new soldiers come. So we had the formation with my guys, and then she came and we introduced her. So they was kind of crowded around her. She's right there. I made my way through to introduce myself as her leader.
Like.
And then, to kind of get her squared away with her, who's going to be her first line supervisor, that type of a thing, get her squared away and into her room. Now, obviously, she's telling the truth about it. It was extremely hot. Mm-hmm. It was the end of the day. She was doing a duffel bag drag, and she was ready to get to her room. Because it's like when you get to Korea and you first get to your unit, it's a whole bunch of nonsense. So she was trying to get situated there.
So that sounds like the only part of the story that was true.
But listen. She went all the way into it. But listen, so this is a Friday. Fridays is turn up. Now for me, I was a senior leader. I would turn up with my junior leaders, but that's it, right? So she's just getting in, and I kind of told her first line supervisor, I'm not sure yet, because she came with another couple junior leaders, and I was like, I'm not sure. I haven't really felt them out to see if we should, let them participate when they first got there. But everyone voted against what I was saying, and they invited her. Then she came to the pregame, and I might have saw her in civilian clothes, and I was like, okay, she might be working with a little something. I typically at the time wasn't into people that work for me, or in my chain of command, that type of thing. That's how a mess happens. But
in other words, what he's saying was Tootie was thicker than a Snicker.
Yeah, she was super bad.
I was walking down that breezeway, and my hair was just flowing in the air.
I know that's right.
I had just got the shower. My hair was wet.
Period. Clint was like, ooh.
And this joker right here, what'd you say?
I said, okay, so listen. So in Korea, they had these like these breezeways for real. So it was like you had to walk down this hall, but it's outside. So I'm in a room, and I'm probably like 50 feet away from her, and she's at the door. Now I'm in the room by myself. I'm pre-gaming. I'm listening to the music, and she walks by the door. It's the first time I've seen her. I don't really even know her, and she was there. She had a little, whatever on, and I was like, I said it jokingly to myself under my breath to no one. I said I might be in trouble. And she deciphered it from 50,000 feet away.
I heard that.
Lip read. I didn't say it. I said it under my breath.
But I heard it.
Nah, you wanted.
She's a really good lip reader.
Literally,
you should have just kept your mouth shut.
but that's how we met. Like she said, and then it's we really didn't just immediately start talking. She did drop I don't know if it was that night or if it was another night we went out. She did she kind of we started dancing, and she told me she wanted me. So
I was drunk.
Yeah.
Hey,
she
a
told
drunk
me
mind
she told me
speaks
she
a
wanted
sober
me.
truth.
So I kept that in the back of my head, like, how am I going to do this? Because this is not something I typically do. Like I said, like, even though she was a sergeant, and it's okay, but I was like, that's just bad blood. But then, time went on. We got to know each other. We got to know each other's situations and relationships passed. We let everything out, and then we started, really getting to try to each other. So that's how we met. We met in Korea, in the Army. She was one of my soldiers. I used to always have her at parade rest.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you absolutely.
I used to make sure that she had
no,
she had to walk when we walked. She had to walk on my left hand side.
Whatever.
So yeah, that's how we met in Korea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that must be the meet spot. But it's funny you say that's usually where people meet but don't stay, because my parents met there, and I was born in '93. I think they divorced in like '95.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, sorry, Dad, if you're listening to this, but Papa was a Rolling Stone. Okay.
But that's what typically happens in Korea. Is like it's typically a 1-year assignment. You don't bring your spouse. A lot of people come there married, so you're basically a whole year separated from your spouse. So people out there wilding out. Now, just at the time that her and I was, not in those situations, and we was able to meet and then lock into a relationship. But yeah, that's what happens. They come out there. They say TDY, temporary divorce from your wife. So you go out there and you.
That's why they call it TDY.
Yes. That's not the real reason, but when you go to
I was like, I've always heard that saying.
TDY, now you temporary divorce.
And listen, now that I know, but my mama used to keep us in like the flyest gear that she used to send back from Korea. Like I still have some of the Cowboys jackets that she sent back, and we used to have like those, the mesh jumpsuits where you can zip and unzip. Yeah. Man, what? My mama kept us fly.
And
like
all the mink blankets and everything.
Hella mink blankets.
Shoes, bags, belts, jewelry, everything. They have everything over there. So, that's what the manufacturers, all of the name brand stuff here is. It's all made over there, Korea, China, Asian countries, and then they slap a label on it, and then they make a whole bunch of money off it. So
and that's usually really what it is, just the label.
1,000,000%.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so diving into it a little deeper, what was the hardest part or the hardest patch of your relationship? Like from, I guess, the time y'all met to, I guess, where you are now.
I would say when my father had passed away.
Yeah.
When my father had passed away, so we were in Korea when he had passed away, and my dad, he had passed away like out of the blue. Nobody knew. We knew that he had cancer. He went into remission and it came back, but he didn't tell us. So we knew, something was going on because my stepmom was calling, and just asking, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? But he had just out of the blue, one day I got a call. It was that night me and him had went out. And I had got a call from my sister-in-law, and she told me my father passed away. Now, mind you, I was a single parent back then. Emery and Jeremiah, my two oldest kids, my dad was watching them. My dad was keeping them while I was in Korea. So it was just a hard time for me because he was my best friend. Now, my mom passed away when I was 10, so it's always just been me and my dad. So I used to always rely on him for everything. And then when my dad had passed away, it was just like when he left, I left with him. So it was like a real tough patch in our relationship, and it was mostly me, the majority of me, because I was so depressed, like almost to the point where I didn't even want to be here no more. And I just didn't care about nothing. I was totally checked out. I was checked out from him. I was checked out from the kids. I was checked out from life. Like I would do everyday life. Like I'll get up and go to work and, still do what I had to do. Mm-hmm. But I was just an empty shell, just living day to day. So I think that was our roughest patch because he used to like try like to get me to snap out of it. And, I didn't know how to grieve because when my mom passed away, my dad, he never gave us a chance, or we never had a real outlet to go to somebody to learn how to grieve. Like when my mom passed away, we just kept moving on with life. And then I watched my dad just turn into an alcoholic because he was trying to fill that void. So when my dad passed away, I picked up that trait, and that's a learned habit. That's the same thing I was doing. So I was an alcoholic. I was depressed. I had suicidal thoughts. Like I was totally checked out. I didn't want to have nothing to do with life. And I believe that was that was our roughest patch that we had.
And it was like a swift transition. So so we met in Korea where it's always turn up. It's 24/7. Turn up. And then her dad suddenly passed away. So she went from turn up to turn down immediately. Mm-hmm. And then there was like so many different decisions that she had to make. We was at the end of our tour of Korea. So one, what's she going to do with the kids? The leadership was not in support of her, like going back and taking care of her kids and all that kind of stuff. She wanted to get out. She immediately didn't want to have nothing to do with the army. So they wanted her to transition out of the army in Korea. But she has no plans in stateside, so that's not the way to do it. And then they were trying to send her to another place where I was not going. It was just a bunch of different, roadblocks on top of her father's death, who's her best friend. So having to deal with that. So we eventually got everything fixed, and for both of us to get stationed at Fort Hood. But then it was a crash course of me meeting Jeremiah and Emery, meeting them briefly. East Coast, and then us all traveling here to Texas, and then becoming a family just like overnight. And it wasn't really supposed to be like that. It was going to be more of a smoother transition, but it was crash course. So it was me having to deal with her emotionally, and then having to deal with them two emotionally, and then them knowing me to deal with them emotionally, and then starting a relationship there. So for them, it was like, all right, I had to be their shield because. She just, like she said, she was checked all the way out. She didn't have.
I get it.
She didn't have any emotions. The only emotion she had was liquor, and she just wanted to drink, and she didn't even know she was drunk, like 24/7. But the kids did, and I think that's what had made her stop. Because one day she was like, I don't even get drunk, and then Jeremiah came out there, like, what are you talking about? You drunk all the time. Like when are you not drunk?
It be your kids.
It be the kids that.
Yeah.
Make you realize.
So I think that was like she said, like she was the most depressing, and I'm pretty resilient. I've been through a bunch of life, but at the point I was like, enough is enough. I'm gonna have to let you go. I hate to say it, but I can't. It's nothing is changing. You gotta, hey, this is a saying we say now, so I would say it on air. Let the dead bury the dead. Like the dead is dead.
I feel you though.
You can't bring the dead back. So, I think it was in Outback or something, a restaurant, when I was like, yo, hey, I told her we had just came from church, and I was like, hey, listen, I can't do it no more. So if you're going to continue to, you want to be in a relationship with your dad that's no longer here, then, by all means, but I'm leaving. And I think that started to change. But if you heard me, we started going to church. That's what's really, that's what, changed the foundation. The start of the foundation, changed everything in our relationship. And we started to get better. It was not easy at the first still, but it started slowly going on the incline.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I can feel that because I feel like your story is kind of like the same as mine, but I didn't have a Clint. I lost my mom. My mom was definitely my best friend. I fell into that depression too, like always drunk, always smoking. Like you didn't see me without a bottle. I promise you. You didn't see me without a blunt. But the only difference, I lost my mom and I lost my significant other. I lost my mom September and December. He broke up with me. Yeah. So it's like I was literally doing it all by myself. Yeah. And it was hard, but like you said, let the dead be buried. And that was also something I used to tell him. Like he lost both of his parents, I think a couple of years apart, but buried them both on the same day of his birthday. But I would see like how he would react to things, and I'm just like, at what point are you going to let that fuel you to want better instead of keep holding you back? Yeah. And I had to take my own advice too. So, I had to thug it. Yeah. And I had to go to therapy. Yeah. But I can feel that 100%. And I don't know what it is about like that generation of our parents where when they're like sick like that, they don't want to tell anybody.
I think, I know for my dad, he just knew that because I was in Korea, I would try to stop. Even if I had to go AWOL, I would be back home. Like he didn't want me to worry about him because it's he wants me to do, and I know it's for everybody, all the parents. They want us to live our whole best life and not stop what we're doing to worry about them.
And I think that's really what it was. Because like I remember the first doctor's appointment I ever took my mom to while she was sick, they were already talking about hospice. Now, mind you, my older sister was like taking her to doctor's appointments, so I'm pretty sure she knew how severe it was, but I think her and my mom didn't want me and my other sister to know. Yeah. So it was like that first appointment I took her to, I think that was the universe's way of like letting me know, like, So it was like I got unfortunately, unlike you, where it just happened suddenly. Yeah. I got the chance to kind of like grieve my mom while she was already here. Yeah. Which I'm not going to say made it easier, but it made it easier. Yeah. So, like that. I think that's really what it is. Yeah. But yeah, so enough of that because y'all got me over here crying and stuff. Okay. So the next question I have for you guys is, I think you kind of touch bases on it with the church thing, but it's like, how did y'all end up on the path that you're on now? Okay,
so when we were in Korea, we met. Let's rewind that. I always in my life, right? I lived a wild life. I was out there. It was sold drugs when I was young before the army.
Hot boy shit.
Smoked weed. 22 years in the army straight. I always lived wild. I was married before, cheating, all the wild stuff. Had plenty, been through plenty of women in life. But I always had in the back of my mind, like one day I'm gonna live right. One day I'm gonna get in church. I'm gonna get right. And when I met her, I told her like, that's one of the things that I want to do, and we're gonna do it sometime, someday, right? We're gonna get married. We're gonna have kids. We're gonna get in church. Right? So after the careers, because we had so many roadblocks, like it was like the enemy was trying to separate us. That like there was no route for us to be together. They was trying to send her, across the country, send me another place. And we knew if that was to happen, we know the army like that wouldn't have worked out, right? So, but then everything started working out. She got stationed where I was at. She ended up, she transitioned out of the army so she can really take care of the kids and be a full-time mom and not have to worry about army stuff no more. We ended up getting married. We end up buying a home. Everything just started falling in place. And then I just remember one day I woke up thinking like, I'm about to die. Like, it's no way in the world. Like, all of this good stuff is happening to me at once. I'm literally about to die. This must be God telling me, hey, I'm giving you all the good things, all of your best things. I'm literally about to die. So I woke her up. I woke the kids up. I was like, hey, we got to go to church right now. Like, today. Today, we're getting up. We're going to find the first church because I think we met somebody in the hospital or something like that. And they told us about a church. It was an all-white church. And we went. And
no, it was the lady that was going to rent the house that we were
That's
in.
right. No, yes, that's right. We was a lady that was going to rent the house, and she had a like a faith-based shirt on, and she told us about her church, But we totally forgot about it. But when I woke up that day, like, we're gonna die, and Tootie was like, "What are you talking about?" Tootie's hungover, and she was like, "We're not gonna die. We drunk too much last night. You tripping?
You just hungover."
Yeah, literally. Nah, you sauced out. What you mean?
No.
We was laced. But in hindsight, the whole I was going to die was literally I'm going to die to my flesh. Like, I'm going to die to the life that I was living, and then we're going to start living in Christ. And then I think from that day, we went every Sunday. I don't think we missed a Sunday unless we had something going on. We was out of town. From that Sunday, we've been in church ever since. So we went to that first original church for 2 years. I learned a lot of biblical information. I learned a lot of biblical education in there. I was being fed. She was still depressed and all that kind of stuff. So she really wasn't. She wasn't receiving at all. But I was. So I was. I didn't care about the environment, nothing. I just was listening to the word, hearing from God, and learning about God. Then we get invited to the church that we're going to now. That's a little bit more lit. It's a little bit more up to date. It's it's a little bit more up her speed. So she was able to be hungover and still dance. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
Praise
Praise the Lord.
And then that's how we started. We got when we came to, like I said, I was already saved. We got the whole family got baptized in the first church, and then but I think she got saved when we went to the new church. That's when she started hearing. That's when she started believing. That's when she got rejuvenated. Because the word that our current pastors are saying was really touching her heart. It was really speaking to everything that she was going through, and then she started surrendering herself, and that started our foundation in God. But it all started with me thinking I literally was going to die. Like I was like, there's no way. I've never had this in my life to where I had good. It'd be like I had some good sprinkles here, some good sprinkles there, but not all in a line. And I was like, nah, I'm definitely going to die. So I just want you to know, I don't have much time left. I'm out of here. But it was literally saying that, God was telling me, yeah, you're going to die to this old life that you had because I got a new one for you. And then from there, once we gave our lives to Christ, everything started shifting.
No, I feel that because I have my moments where I'm just like, man, life is going really good. So what's about to happen? Like, something is gonna happen. Life just can't be this good. But no, I definitely feel that. Even like when you said whatever the pastor was saying at the time was really touching Tootie, because it's like, this also is gonna fall into the next topic that I have. But anytime I do go to church, it's like the pastor is literally like speaking to me. Like, I'm over here bawling my eyes out because, sir, who told you my business? Like, what's going on here? Don't put me on Front Street like that, even though there's like a pillar full of people. Don't put me out there like that. But yeah, I can dig that.
And just so you know, like that, it's not the pastor speaking to you. That's God speaking to you through the pastor.
Yeah.
So it's God. It's what God been wanting to tell you. It's just that sometimes we don't have our ears open, or we don't have enough time. We don't block out enough time just to hear from God. So when we're forced or we're put in those moments, God uses whoever. He'll take the opportunity to get what he needed to tell you for the longest in that moment. So that's what happens. Because, basically when we first started going to church, every service was like, yeah, well, he's talking to me. Nah, he's been wanting to talk to me. I just was listening. And then I had an opportunity to finally listen. And when the first 2 years, she wasn't listening. But when she got to our church now, that's when she started listening. So,
Yeah, because at first I didn't want to have nothing to do with church. I was so mad at God because how can you take away two of my most favorite people, the people that that I love the most? How can you take them away in such a young age? My mom was only 37, and my dad was 40, 45, 50. I was 35, so he was in his early 50s. So, they're still, still young ages. Like, how dare you take them from me? But I didn't understand then. I understand now. But back then, I didn't understand, so I was mad. So when we were going to church at first, I was going because my husband wanted me to go. But I wasn't going because I wanted to go. I was just going to support, and like, okay, this is what we got to do. I'm just going in there. I'm in church where I couldn't wait to get home so I could pour me a drink. And that was like for the first couple of years, even that
Jesus turned water into wine, right?
Listen, that was his first miracle. Listen, but even at the church we're going to now, it took me a minute to really like back off and have a clear mind so I could really listen to everything that God is really trying to download to me, I needed him to heal me, but I need to remove everything else out the way for him to start his healing process in me.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. And let me just say, as I know y'all are like Christian, but y'all aren't like those, how can I say this? Y'all aren't like those holier than thou Christians.
Holy rollers.
Yeah. I can't stand those.
Yeah.
Those are the, like, in my opinion, those are the worst ones. You sin more than you tell us not to sin, and you, like, try to hide your hands with what you do.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what deters me from church a little bit, but also we're going to flow into the next topic. But that's also why I feel like I'm more spiritual than I am religious. But I also feel like they kind of tie in to one another. Mm-hmm. So, like, we both know, like I said, I'm more spiritual than I am religious. Mm-hmm. So what am I trying to say? How do like, you think we navigate our friendship with that? Because I am more spiritual and y'all are more religious. How do you think like all of that plays into our friendship?
Well, I'm gonna let her answer that, but I'm gonna clean that up just a little bit, right? So when you say like people are religious, that's not who we are. Like, so that's not what God wants. God wants a relationship. Mm-hmm. See, God, he already knows who you are. He knows what you're going to be. He's the Alpha and Omega. He knows the beginning from the end to the beginning. Meaning that what he created in you is what he created in you. He's more concerned with a relationship with you. He doesn't care how many times you pray. He doesn't care how many times you read his Bible. He don't care how many times you go to church. What he cares about is, do you have a relationship with me? Can you bring anything to me, unhindered? That's where people get it wrong at. I got to pray this way. I got to say these specific things. I got to pray at this certain time. I got to do it. No, that's not what God wants. God wants, because when I first started, that was me. I'm reading this scripture for this long, praying this way, in this closet. Once I really got to know God, it's basically, I talk to God just like I'm talking to you right now. I bring him my problems. I bring him my wins. I give him my goals. Everything that when it comes to God and us, that's how we treat God. And that's why God wants his followers, his children, to be attractive. When you're not, meaning that you see how you click with us, how you bang with us, because we are attractive. We're attractive the most. We can go to any room, and we truly are typically the ones that people attract to, because we keep it real. We're not trying to put up a facade just because we love God, and that's not what God intended. But see, a lot of folks take the Bible out of context. And they bring it back to the Old Testament. I don't want to get too biblical there. They bring it back to the old ways, and the old ways was gone when Jesus came. Jesus abolished the old ways. Jesus said there's only 2 commandments: love God above everything else, and then love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's the only 2 commandments we're supposed to be worried about. I'm not saying just gives us the ability to do whatever we want to do and sin like we're crazy, but no, that's the basis. So if you live your life that loving people, and you live in your life loving God, that's all that really matters. The rest of that stuff, it will subside. It will break off, like her liquor and my weed and all that stuff. It broke off naturally. It's not something I stopped doing just because I'm a church guy. No, I broke off naturally because God has removed those things from us naturally because we have a relationship with God. So So now I'm gonna let her talk about how you guys navigate your friendship, but I can tell you, her started her conversations is to say we love everybody, and that's what God intended. It's no animosity. We're not to judge anybody. We don't care. We're not God. We're not the ones that you're going to meet at the gate. We're not the ones that's going to decide your fate. We are just to love you. So judgment is a sin. So if I'm judging what you're doing, I'm in the wrong. You know what I'm saying?
And that be That really be
because
I'm like, ain't you not supposed to judge?
Yeah, that's
but here you are judging me like, did you see what she had on? Why you worried about what I had on? Ain't your job is not to judge me. Right. But even though I say I'm very spiritual, how many times do y'all hear me like I be doing something? I'm like, Jesus know my heart, because it's just like.
Yeah. And then when you say that, I be telling Clint like, I think we working.
No, she do say that. She done told me a bunch of times.
I think we get into her, and it's just that I just love your heart. You are the kindest, the most generous, the most loving, funny. That's all I look at. I don't care about nothing else. Listen, you don't. When I talk about God, you don't make a face at me. You just let me talk. You let me talk about God, and I don't try to push God down nobody's throat. I show me being a Christ follower. I show them through my actions, and that's the only way that you could change people. So if you see me, how I treat people, how I love on people, and eventually it's going to rub off. So when you say, y'all pray for me or whatever, and like, hey, babe, I'm rubbing off. I think I'm rubbing off on Ashley. I think she's coming around.
And it's so crazy because literally in my podcast today, I was talking about that. Like, I feel like spirituality and religion kind of tie into one another because. I mean, I still pray, but it's not in the sense of our Father who art in heaven. Yeah. Like I still ask for things. I do believe in a higher power. Mm-hmm. Who is it? I don't know. And for me, it's my ancestors. Like majority of the time, if something good happens for me, I'm thinking my mom, or it's just like small things like Mother's Day. I was in a little funk. I was thinking about my mom, and ironically, a cardinal shows up in my backyard and she's just sitting on the tree. Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, Mom, come through. But I don't try to rub off what I am to anybody else. Yeah. Like Mike Koa, when he wants to go to church, go. Mm-hmm. Like if my son wanted to praise Allah, baby, you do your big one, okay? I don't judge. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I really don't, because it's just like, if I don't want you judging me, I'm not finna judge you. Yeah. But also, if you cross me, no one understand, ain't no coming back. You only got one-way street. Once you cross that street, it ain't no coming back. Ain't no crossing guard, ain't no crosswalk. It's just straight traffic. It's no way for you to get back. Yeah. But I do appreciate those kind words, because I even tell my son, like, you don't have to change who you are to attract the people that are meant to be in your life. Yeah. Be who you are. I said, do you notice, like, do I change who I am for any of my friends? And he's like, no. I said, that's because I'm just me. You can either like it or not. And if you don't like it, it's fine. Yeah. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Mm-hmm. That's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, if you have to change who you are to gain friends, then you don't really know yourself who you are. Yeah. Like, just be genuine. And, that's.
But I always tell people, because Clint and I, we're over our young adult ministry, and so we do a lot of counseling, a lot of mentorships, and a lot of the younger adults out here are lost to the world. Like they, oh, woe is me, this ain't happening, I'm going through this, and the world's just about to end for them. And why doesn't this person want to be with me? Why are my friends all leaving me? Listen, don't change yourself for nobody, because you are exactly who God created you to be. And if you change yourself, that means you do not like what God had created. So you be you. And those that are moving away from you, that's just God removing them from you. Mm-hmm. You say thank you. Don't say why, but you say thank you, God. Although I don't understand why, I thank you, because now you got so much peace. You got so much room for peace and for God to bring somebody into your atmosphere, into your space that you need in your life at that moment.
And those are straight facts, because there have been many times where I'm like, all right, universe, like I'm really trying to I'm trying to elevate. I'm trying to do something different. Whoever's not meant for me, just weed them out. Like, it doesn't have to be bad blood, but weed them out. And after it happens, I sit back and I'm like, dang, like that was my best friend for years. Mm-hmm. And now we don't even talk anymore, but I'm at peace. Like, it's no ill will. Like, the time was fun. It's a lesson and a blessing. Like, there's a reason for every season, I just feel like. Yeah. So it's like, when I really sit back and think of like what I asked for and then who got weeded out and where I am now, I really ask myself, like, would I be here now if I was still you know, in that pattern. So I wholeheartedly agree with that, like 100%.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, same, right? So we always pray for elevation. We always pray for the next level. We always pray for our vision to come true. And you know, same thing. Like when we started walking with Christ, we had, you know, all of our friends that we had when we was turning up. They just started like slowly fading away. We was like, yo, we the same people. We just love God now. Y'all tripping. We're not changing. Obviously, you know, they felt convicted. They felt that, you know, that our path was too righteous for what they were doing. But we really didn't change much. The only thing we do now is we go to church and we love God, and we raise our, you know, our family that way. But, you know, God clearly hurt us, you know, it started hurting us. Like, hey, you know, why is these people, you know, breaking off in our life? God was basically told me, where I'm taking you, they can't go. Mm-hmm. They don't have access to where I'm taking you. So you can either trust me or you can trust the relationship that you had. And now that we get into the places we've gone, those people are slowly starting to come back, but they're coming back with respect. They're coming back with curiosity. They're coming back and, you know, like, hey, you know, I'm like, yeah, we told you we never changed, but we're not gonna look back.
Y'all can't come back. I took your spot.
y'all gonna have to run to where we at, because we're not looking back. We're gonna continue to go forward. And we told, you know, but that's, God heard it clear as day. They can't go where you're going. They cannot go where you're going. So I'm taking you where you're believing for. They don't even have that. They don't have the ability to get to where you at right now. I'm not saying that they can never will, but just that, you know, sometimes you just got to remove yourself from certain rooms to get to another room. So that's a you know, I think that's relative to what we're kind of talking about. You gotta let them go.
Yeah. I mean, and as much as it hurts, you really gotta, because like, even, I'm not gonna say this is the reason for my mom's passing, but my ex, I don't think he wanted to let me go so many times, and it was me, like, no, pick me. But it wasn't until, like, my mom passed and he was like, I'm packing my stuff and I'm leaving. I'm like, all right, bye. See you later. Because it's like, I already lost my mom. If you think I'm about to keep fighting for somebody who really don't want to be here, you're crazy. So go. And that was the first time he left and I didn't ask for him to come back.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not even mad about it, because again, it's like I asked for elevation. So if you're not meant to elevate where I'm at, then I ain't gonna say kick rocks and blow dust, but you know, see you wherever you be at. Yeah. And ironically, you know how like you randomly run into people, like, oh, how you doing? Any person that has left my life and wasn't meant to come back in, I do not ever randomly run into them anywhere. Like my family members, they'll be like, oh, I see such and such. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I never run into them. And in my head, it's a reason. Because that's that don't look back. Like, I'm not meant to reminisce on any of that. Like, yeah, that time was cool or it was a lesson, but me running into you just, it's not meant to be. And I'll be perfectly fine with that. Because even my niece is like, oh, I see such and such. I'm like, oh, dang, okay. That's cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah, literally. But, yeah, so, yeah. Y'all can't hear it, but I'm doing that little clock it thing. Okay, clock it. All right. So my next topic is our kids' friendship. I love our kids' friendship, okay? I can't call Eli your best friend. I'll be like, all right, Cole, we got to go to your best friend's house. You mean my bro? All right. Or like even when I'm talking to other people and I'm like, yeah, he's at his best friend's house and he will interject himself in my conversation. That's not my best friend. That's my bro. And I'm like, they don't.
Eli too.
I'm like, okay. His bro's house. Like, excuse me, brother. But I really adore their friendship. Like, I really, really do. I hope that they continue on. Like, even if one goes to like a different high school or we move out of state, like I really hope that they stay friends to the point where send Eli to me for the summer or I'm gonna send like I love their friendship or their brothership.
Their brothership. I do too.
There we go, brotherhood. Brothership is crazy.
Brotherhood is crazy.
And Tootie over here repeating like, brothership is great.
She yanked you to death. Brothership is crazy.
They will correct you real quick.
Oh yeah,
real quick.
In public and embarrass you.
Yeah, I
literally,
said
it
best
don't.
friend multiple times. He said, "No, that's my brother."
Like,
multiple times.
My bad, brother. You're right.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, y'all, because
they've been best friends since they was like 4.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley
Didn't even know.
She didn't even know. She didn't know.
I remember Ashley was like, "Who's this lady? Who is this lady?" Ashley was super flamboyant. We was like, "Who is this lady?" And then come to find out, you're the coolest person ever.
Thank you.
Ever.
No,
but
listen, the first time I ever
I remember Ashley. I remember you back when you was 4.
The first time I
It's
remember
crazy.
was at their flag. It was their flag when they were in Flag Academy.
And I can very much so picture me doing exactly what you're about to say.
Cole was super fascinating. And
Super
I had
fast.
Ashley, I was like,
I bet he's still
What is
fast.
he
He
doing?
just packed a little weight.
I said, "Do you have him in track?" She was like, "Yeah." And then that was it. I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Well, excuse me."
I probably just like turned my head, was like, yeah, and it just turned right back around.
That's exactly how it was.
But it wasn't until their second year, which is even more crazier because they did Flag Academy. They did 1 year of flag football, and then the second year of flag football was when I was coaching.
Yeah.
And Cole was like, he ran up to Demel and Eli. And he was like, "Oh, these are my bros. These are my best friends." And I'm like, "Nigga, you don't even know them to be calling." And he was like, "Yes, I do, Mom. Those are my best friends." And I'm like, "No, they are not.
Yeah.
You don't even like." He's making me mad. Like, you don't even know them to be calling them that. And the whole time, y'all, I was wrong. They got pictures together and everything. Like, when Tootie was showing me them pictures, I was like, where the hell was I at? Where was I when all of this was going on? And it was like, you was there. I was there. Where?
He was at every game.
Where was I at there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I was flabbergasted because, like I said, when my son's literally telling me, like, "Yeah, Mom, those are my bros. Those are my best friends." No, boy, you have never met them boys a day before in your life. Like, what are you talking about? So here we are, 3rd season in, and the first 2 seasons, baby, I couldn't even tell you where I was at. I mean, I was there clearly, but where was I? No freaking clue. Like, no clue at all.
Yeah.
Bad business. Real bad business.
Nah, but I agree. I feel like they are brothers. Like, and then I feel like they, between him and Demel, Cole and Demel are like my sons. So I love them when they're over here. Even times that she be tired and she don't even feel like that. You know how moms are like, "Nah, I don't feel like no company. I don't feel like nothing. I just want quiet." I'm like, "Nah, let's bring them on. Let them come over because I like their brotherhood, and then 2, I just like I father my son all the time, but it's a bigger blessing for me when it's someone else's. When it's not my biological son, and I'm able to show them some things because I'm not saying this in a negative light, but it's like the man doesn't have a positive male role model in his life, and Cole doesn't have he don't neither.
So
my thing is like if I'm looking the way I'm seeing how my son is turning out, so I'm doing an okay job. I want to be able to do that to his friends too. So he doesn't outgrow no one. They grow together. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's key when I look at them as a trio. As you said, as they grow up to be teenagers and young adults and businessmen and all that kind of stuff. They started from when they was 4 years old, and then we'll see them, they're 20, 25 years old, and they have their own businesses, and they're doing big things, and they're doing it together. They're learning from each other, even though they may have different experiences in schools and whatever, but they all bring that together because Eli might be strong in one area, but Cole's is strong in another area, and those two strengths, they become a powerhouse. So DeBell is strong in another area, and they all come together and they mesh. So when I see that, when I'm around them, I love that. So definitely want them to be close forever.
Yeah, for sure. And they all 3 of them have very distinct, different personalities.
That's
crazy.
Like
crazy.
I'm sorry to say it, but Cole's probably gonna be the one where he be like, "Yo, y'all, I took my mama's truck. Y'all trying to go out somewhere?" And Eli gonna be like, let me really think about this because I know the consequences and repercussions behind me sneaking out. But you can come over here and we can think about it together. And Demel just gonna straight be like, "Nah, I ain't going.
Yep.
I'm straight. I'm gonna just stay home." I'm not afraid to say it. Yes, my kids have my personality through and through. But to kind of piggyback off of what you say, which is another reason why I don't mind Koa like being over here, because he doesn't have like that father figure.
Yeah.
So he really he finds it within Clint and my dad.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel blessed to have that, because, not many people have that. Like, Koa is so comfortable to the point where Tootie was talking about how you was getting Eli a helmet, and this joker gonna say, Mom, can you ask him to get me a helmet too? First of all, no, he was here.
Yeah,
he was here. He was like, he called me, he was like, Mom, can I ask Pops if he can get me a football helmet too? Brother, do you know how much some helmets are? And they already trying to claim you on their taxes. Like, no.
Literally. I just revised them.
Like, no, you can't ask Pops to get you no helmet. You gonna get one. Just be patient, brother. Dang. So, yeah. You guys are really appreciated. I love you guys. You guys are the bee's knees.
Yes, we love you. We love Koa. We love Kai. Like, we just love y'all. Y'all are beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Through and through.
I try really hard. Okay. All right. And now my last one, since Clint is gonna make me turn this into a 2-part series.
Yes, 2 parts. We can talk business and that, because that's a whole nother. We
could sit here for longer than whatever. And I'm gonna mute my mic because I already been tearing up over here. So
that's good content. What you mean? We need to hear the sniffles.
So, if you guys have any advice for me, what would it be?
So I think my advice for you, Ashley, is look within. Like, see, don't. And that's for anybody. It's not just you specifically, but for look within. Don't and that's one of the things that changed my life. When I stopped looking outside for sources, when I stopped looking outside for people and things, when I started looking within, that's when I really found my purpose, and I really found myself. I think that you have a lot of talents. I'm a good judge of character, so I can tell a person who ain't about nothing, and I can tell somebody who is about something from a mile away. And you have a lot of qualities. So I just know that if you start looking within yourself, your life will change drastically. Like you'll the right person will come for you. Your all the things that you were dreaming for and believing for will come for you. But if you start looking at, don't look at anyone. Don't look at other than the people that you aspire that aspire you. You can look at them and say, okay, if God did it for that one person, or it was done for that one person, then why would not me? Because God is no respecter of persons. But if you start looking within yourself and you start doing some self-reflection of yourself, and I'm not saying that you don't do it, you are all you need. You know what I'm saying? You are all what you're believing for, what you're thinking about, what you're wanting is all right there. You just got to tap into that. Because when I started tapping into that, when she started tapping into that, we started coming into agreement for the things that we want, and just started happening. I think you have so much potential. You don't have to, you're unapologetic about who you are, and just stay that. But just continue to look within. Don't look at nobody else, because the people 9 out of 10 times, the people that if you are looking at others, they're not about nothing. They people put on a facade. That's like social media. Social media, I think, is the biggest smoke and mirrors ever. Mm-hmm. But people put on a facade, and that's not really one. So then they have people trying to follow a facade. But if you start looking within yourself and you come up with your own idea of what you want, that'll come to fruition versus anything else. So I just think that just continue to be you, unapologetic, because that's who I am. I'm not changing for nobody, and I think I'm doing very well just being who I am. Not trying to chase after nobody, not trying to look like nobody, not trying to act like nobody, not trying to do none of that. I'm gonna be Clint through and through. If you like it, oh well. I mean, you like it, good. If you don't, hey, kick rocks.
And blow dust.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think that you just continue to be you, and everything will work out as it's supposed to. You just know that you have all the abilities, you have all of the traits, you have all of the things to make your dream come true. You just got to know. But that's another thing too. You got to know your dream. You got to know your vision. You got to know what you want, and you just got to go after it. But look within. Don't look outside. Because outside you miss what God is trying to do for you personally. So that's the advice I'll give to you.
It's crazy that you say that because literally in my last therapy session last week, my therapist was telling me, because, we talk about stuff, and I was telling her how in this downtime that I had in between jobs that I, started a different business. I'm still doing the podcasting and stuff. And then she was like, she asked me something about like my qualities that I have. And I was just like, I don't know, you asked me. Like, I'm just asking. And she was like, but what about the businesses you started and all the things that you're doing to do this and this, that, and the third? And she basically brought to my attention what you just said. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm very driven and I have a lot for myself. So just basically keep feeding into myself. So again, I just feel like that's the universe kind of piggybacking and putting it all together to let me know, like, keep grinding. Like, I'm not there yet, but I keep putting in the work and I'll be where I see myself. Mm-hmm. So thanks, Clint. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you continue to be you. One advice I would give you is you have to put you first. We have, especially, I'm not a single mom no more, but as a single mom, we tend to put our kids first. Mm-hmm. You have to put you first, because if you don't, then you're not going to be the best version for them, because you're going to be stretched so thin. And Ashley, I know, like, you got these boys that want to be in a million sports, and then you got, and I'm speaking to myself. But I just have one right now. She has two, and then she has, she has the baby.
Luckily, there's a 9-year gap.
Yeah. And she has the baby. And, sometimes we just have to pick and choose, like, what sports, that they can do without you stretching yourself. So look how you're looking at me. And he's only looking because they in the basketball and football right now. It's gonna stop. And it's going to get to the point where we, that I just have to choose, hey, you just got to pick one. But you have to be able to take care of yourself first. Because if you're not fully, if you're not full of energy, if you're not, doing your self-care, if you're, if you're stretching yourself thin, then what's left to offer them? Yeah. You're just an Uber.
And gas prices is $6 million.
Yeah, Uber taking them, here, there, everywhere, and then you got one baby on the breast, and then you got the other ones here and there. But you have to be able to just take care of Ashley. You have to be able to say, hey, like when they want to do something, like, you know what, right now it's just a me day, a mommy day. Like, hey, we just gonna chill. Y'all go to your friends or whatever, but it's just a mommy day, because you have to be the best version of Ashley, so you can be the best version of a mom to them.
1000%. Mm-hmm. Because as we were walking into Dick's, trying on that helmet, I'm like, so you want to try baseball? And he's like, yeah, I'll try it. And then I thought to myself, girl, what the hell are you doing? Why would you even ask him that? We'll try that, like, another time, because he's been saying, like, lately how he wants to get back into soccer. And I'm like, boy, soccer, basketball, football. Thank God we didn't do track this season, although like I was this close into putting him in the track, but then I was like, yeah, that's a no, because I'm not trying to have your sister out there in a hot ass heat. I'm not even trying to be out there. Yeah, we'll try that again, like, another season. But yeah, I can feel that, because it's really like, I really want to give my kids what my mom, gave to me. But it's also like, girl, it's just you. Yeah. It's just you and these two kids that is in 1,012 different sports, and then you got this baby. But that I also want to factor in saying thanks to y'all, because like on them days where I'm really just like, look, I ain't got it. Can Koa please catch a ride? Like, can y'all pick him up? You're like, yeah, we'll pick him up. We'll drop him off. I'm like, girl, thank you, because who?
It takes a village, and I really stand on that. Like, even when it's just when it's the two of us, sometimes we need the help too. And I'm like, hey, can you like catch a ride? Can you like come over or whatever?
And can.
Like, yeah, I mean, it takes a village, and that's what for us, we call our friends our family. And that's what family would do for one another. And if we can, we're going to do it. So, and you know, it's vice versa. I know you are always when you never say. I don't think I hardly ask you for anything or any help or anything. But when I do, it's always yes.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I want to be there for y'all just as much as you're there for me. I don't want it to be like a one-sided friendship.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, but it takes a village. It really does. But you just have to be the best version of you, and you can't if you're tired. Because if you're tired, that's when you start getting irritated. That's when you start yelling. That's when you want to be left alone. And, you know, the kids don't need to see that. They don't need to feel that because it's not their fault.
It's not their fault
that they're here. So we just have to pick and choose, you know, hey, pick a sport. Pick 2 sports. And let's see if they fall, you know. It just so happened that basketball and flag just fell in the same time. And I said, I'm never going to do that again. And then he'd be reminding me, well, you did this. It's because of you. Literally. This is why we out here all day.
Facts.
About to pass out.
Saturday, I ain't gonna say it wore me out, but I was just like, hold on now. Wait a minute.
You're lugging a baby around. That's crazy. Event to event to event is crazy work.
Maybe that's Saturday had me talking messy. Y'all know I don't.
Well, first of all, Saturday that ref, I need to email the homeboy anything.
Both of y'all needed a nap.
No, they needed more better eyes because that was not no catch.
No, at all. Listen,
I knew it had to be bad when Clint was talking to both of us. He was like, "Hey, look, look now." Yeah, I'm like, no, baby. When I say I slept all day Sunday,
oh shoot, we took us a good trap nap.
And I had a house full of kids. Like, this is how good I slept. Once they left, I went downstairs in my garage to grab something, and I see that my freezer door is a little open. I open the freezer, and they have a cup of noodles in the freezer and a bag of chips. And I had to ask myself, like, where the hell was you at? I was asleep. Them kids are just fending for themselves.
Yeah. And sometimes it be like that. But yeah, no, just take care of Ashley first, and then everything else will fall in place.
And write the vision down. Write who you want to be down.
Oh no, for sure. You see this, and I was even telling my therapist this. I've always been a stickler for journaling. Like, ever since I was little, I think it was really the movie Harriet the Spy. Have you ever heard of that movie?
I think I read the book.
It was a book too, but I seen the movie, and she used to journal, and ever since then, like, you would not catch me without a pen and a journal. I have so many journals in my house where, like, you can literally read and go through them, but I'm a big stickler on that. Like, put it on paper. Put it on paper and it'll come into fruition, but you also have to do the work. You can't just write it down and expect it to happen. Like, write it down, do the work, be patient, and then watch it, develop. So.
And be intentional about it, and that's doing the work. But be super intentional about it. When I say write it down, like, write down what do you see yourself? Who do you see yourself becoming? And then, okay, whatever that is, have that as your title. Okay, so how do you get there? 4 things. Because I think for me, like, the business came 5 years ago. I had the name, everything 5 years ago. I wrote it down, and I shelved it. Right, and God was like, "Hey, I want you to pull that thing back out. Pull it back out because it's coming. Pull it back out." It's you have to write what you want to be or who you're going to be. You write it down, and then you reflect on that. I've been asking for this. I'm believing for this. When this is going to come, and you just keep reminding and keep reminding and keep reminding and keep reminding, and next thing you know, it's going to be there. And then now you move to the next thing. You get what I'm saying? So I just think journaling is cool. It's really, really good. It's the best way to get out your thoughts. That's the best way to process everything. But when you write a vision down, when you write a dream down, or people say vision boards, and people don't understand that. The vision board is really like you got to keep looking at it. If you look on that shelf right there, just turn to the right. You see those cars? I guarantee you I have every one of those cars because I look at it every single day. That's cars out my price range. That's a Bentley over there.
Is that G-Wagon?
That's a G-Wagon over there. That's a Rolls Royce over there. That's a high end. That's because I have to, and there's a plane over there in a cup. So that's things.
Know who I need to holler at.
Those are the things that, and if you look over there, because it's not even on the vision board anymore, because it's a Porsche. It's a Porsche Panamera white sitting over there that I have in my garage right now. You get what I'm saying? Because you have to put it in front of you. You have to look at it every single day. You have to believe for it, and then it will come to fruition. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like me, I wrote that vision down and I shelved it, and God was like, "No, bring that back out." Because if it's shelved, then it's no longer at your forefront. That's no longer a vision. That's a dream that wasted. You get what I'm saying? So when you write your stuff down, you got to write it and look at it. Write it and look at it. It's biblical. Write it and look at it. Write it and look at it. Write it and look at it. Because as you keep looking at it, now you're building yourself up to be that person or to be that thing. And the next you know it, just start coming to fruition.
And it's crazy you say that because I have 2 vision boards in my office. One that sits right in front of me and then one that's next to my door when I walk in. And I believe the same thing. Like, yeah, I can write it down, but to see it and be like, all right, you know, like, a baby girl was on my vision board. I kid you not. A baby girl was on my vision board, and like once I get what I envision, I take it down. Yeah, I put something else up there. But it took a few years. Don't get me wrong, but I don't expect it to happen overnight. But like you said, like once I keep looking at it, and I'm just like, all right, this is what I'm doing it for. Like even in my kitchen, I have like little picture frames of like certain sayings or whatever. Just because I want to remind myself, like, okay, this is what you're working for. This is what you're grinding to.
Right.
Like, see it, believe it, write it down, see it, believe it, work, manifest, like, just full circle.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But I want you, Ashley, I want you to switch that around. I want you to believe it. Then you're going to see it.
You got to see yourself in it. Like when I my brain is wild. But when I think of something I want to do, I see myself already doing it. I really have the vision already doing it, and then that brings me from thought process to actually doing it. So, you know, like when you look at your vision board, I don't know what's on your vision board. Let's say it was a house, or let's say this. See yourself in it. Like start visioning yourself in the kitchen cooking, or you know whatever it is. If it's a major podcast, start seeing yourself at the network, at the desk with the cameras. Start seeing it because that's what's going to bring it to fruition. Like I'm telling you, it's spooky how the things that are happening in my life, I saw myself doing it, and now I'm doing it. You get what I'm saying? So you just gotta, you know, have the vision board and just start seeing yourself in those places, in those spots, how it will look, how, you know, the details of it, you know, because, and I don't want to make it too biblical, but the Word of God says, write it down, make it plain. Write it down, make it plain, meaning that give me the details. I need, don't just tell me I want a big old house. All right, what type of house? How many bedrooms? Where's it going? You want land? You want to be by a lake? You want, you know, give the details, because the details is what builds your faith up. Because if you know, I could say I want $1 million. All right, you want $1 million to do what? What do you want that money for? What are you going to be doing? What, you know, where's it going to go? Is it going to go into this type of account? It has to be detailed for it to come through. And then other than just being a pipe dream, because I used to be a pipe dreamer, but now I think of something and I'm like, these are my specifics to that thing. So that's just my piece of advice, because it's been working for me. You know, I'm just speaking from my own perspective. And if I'm speaking to you, someone who I love, I want to see you, you know, accomplish everything that you want. You just have to do it. I would say do it in that fashion, because it's a no fail. Every single time I do that, it comes to fruition, because I'm detailed. And I didn't used to, I'd be super vague, like I want this, I want that. But now I'm like, I want this thing to go with this thing, to go with that thing, to go with this thing, to go with that thing, and it just all comes together.
I feel it. And I think, Tootie, you got anything else to say?
No, just love you.
Love you too. But I think that's a really good place to leave that off until me and Clint catch back up next time.
Yes.
Because he's a hater. But as always, y'all know y'all can follow me on Instagram at highly.talkative, on Facebook at Highly Talkative. I'm on all major streaming platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can catch me on YouTube, or you can go to rss.com and select the streaming service of your choice. That was hard right there. I don't know why. But speaking of businesses, I'm also going to shout mine out. What the hell? I'm also going to shout mine out. Keep It Stashy on Facebook and Instagram. That's all your business needs, all the background, keep you organized, help you with onboarding, offboarding, all of that. And then I also have Sassy Ash Stash. That's all things custom. But Clint, you want to, shout your business out too?
Oh, yeah, of course. Clint Phillip, broker owner of Empower Lending Group. It's my own mortgage brokerage, and that's very rare for a black man to own his own brokerage. So my wife and I, we started our own business. So anything in mortgage needs, from residential, commercial, land, I do it all. So just give me a holler.
Spell that last name for me, Clint.
Phillip. Philip.
No double L, no S. Okay.
And you can reach him at Empower Lending Group, and spelled MPOWER lendinggroup.com.
We love that.
And hit the apply now button.
And do that. I know that's right. You see how she slid that in there? I know that's right, Tootie.
Tootie one of them purses.
But on that note, you guys have a great week, and we will, well, I know. I'll catch y'all next week.